Revenge served cold.
I got the sweetest revenge on my boyfriend and his family who kept, accidentally, calling me by his ex-girlfriend's name. Before I got together with James, he was dating Diane. They were together for maybe 2 years before, according to James, Diane broke up with him for reasons unknown. He was also quite bitter about it because he said his family loved Diane. And they did. They loved her so much that they kept referring to his next girlfriend, aka me, as Diane. James and I got together a full year after his breakup with Diane. You'd think by then he and his family had gotten over her. Apparently not. The first time I went to his parents' home for dinner, his mother kept, accidentally, calling me Diane. My name, Sarah, is nowhere near Diane. You really can't confuse the two names. At first, my dear boyfriend tried to be gallant about it, telling his mom off for making me feel awkward. His gallantry didn't last long, though. It wasn't only his mom. His sister and her husband also confused my name with Diane and compared me to the ex-girlfriend. They would tell the most adorable stories starring Diane and James. His father was uninterested most of the time, but when he's in the mood, he would join in and call me Diane. After a couple of tries, James just completely gave up on defending me. He told me that they were just so used to seeing Diane and to just give them time. There were times when he did not only not stop them, he also joined in on the fun. When his mom would again compare my cooking to Diane's, he would say cooking was just not my specialty. I thought I was a good cook, passable at least, but apparently, I was no match for Diane. I knew it was wrong, but I was starting to hate Diane. I should have hated my boyfriend, but I was too in love with him to think that it was him who was lacking and not me. I spent a Christmas with him and his family. I spent so much money buying them gifts. I was desperate to have their approval for once. I don't know what I was even trying. It was clear that they were barely tolerating my presence. I was a fool, okay? I know that now. But back to the Christmas disaster. When gift-giving came, his family all had something to criticize my gift about, like it wasn't the right color or it was a cheap imitation, and Diane would never get caught buying these cheap shits. I was holding back tears. I should have just left then and there, or I shouldn't even have come. But my boyfriend convinced me that it would be the perfect time to win them over. In defense of me, James just told them it was the best I could come up with in a short time. It was hardly a defense and he knew full well that I spent weeks in advance trying to learn what they would like for Christmas. The worst part was when they had gifts for Diane and asked my boyfriend to give them to her because she couldn't make it that day. James accepted the gifts, not even asking me if it's okay. Oh, and of course they did not give me anything, not that I was expecting gifts from them. I held on to my tears until we got home. James just told me that I was making it all about me. He then announced that he would be delivering the gifts to Diane the next day and that it's best if I didn't come with him because of my attitude. Keep in mind that I had never met Diane personally then. I knew of her because of how he and his family kept including her in all our conversations. But I had never met this famous ex-girlfriend. I knew she's living just 15 minutes drive from us. That's why I suspected the family often invited her for meals, and that's also why they couldn't accept that she's not part of their lives anymore. I knew James wouldn't wake up before 10 a.m. if he didn't have work the next day. I took advantage of this and packed my things. We weren't officially living together, but I was in his place most of the time. Moving back into my apartment was easy because I was still on the lease. I left that night without informing him. I left him a message to tell him we were over. Then I woke up early to go to the cafe where Diane frequented. I knew she went there every weekend because I was kinda stalking her socials. I mean, it's hard not to want to learn everything about her when the love of your life and his family were constantly comparing you to her, right? I wasn't thinking straight when I went there. I didn't have any plan or speech prepared. I just felt like wanting to see her for myself. To see why I was being constantly compared to her, why I couldn't earn his family's acceptance. I already knew what she looked like, but seeing her in person was something else. She was drop-dead gorgeous in person. Is this what Prince Harry saw when he called Meghan Markle heart attack beautiful? Now I know why I couldn't replace her in their eyes. Did she do a double take when her eyes landed on me? I didn't even know that she knew me. But she did a double take. With all my bravado in coming here, I felt my anxiety building up when she started walking towards me. Then she gave me a sweet smile and the sweetest hi. She asked if she could sit with me, which of course she could. I apologized for coming there, admitting that I just wanted to see her for myself. I could have lied and pretended not to know her, but we would both know I was lying. It was obvious that I knew her. I also told her not to worry because I wasn't there to cause a scene. I just left James, whether he knew it or not was a moot point, but I still wanted to know why I was always lacking. Then she started talking. She said she knew me because James' family kept sending her messages about me. Well, not exactly about me, but about James' girlfriend who should be her, according to his family. It got so absurd that she had to silent message notifications from them. We got talking then. I told her about how I tried so hard to win them over, but my limit was last night. She admitted she left James because she just wasn't in love with him as she should have been. His family wasn't that clingy then, and they were all accepting of her. But it got to a point when she didn't know if she was just staying with James because she still liked him or because she knew she would be letting his family down if she left. She thought their breakup was amicable and she made courteous goodbyes to the family. She just didn't know they would be so unaccepting of James' subsequent girlfriends. This girl, whom I had been silently and unfairly hating on just because my boyfriend's family couldn't let her go, was actually really nice. And beautiful. And lovely. I think I was even a little in love with her at first sight. As it happened, we exchanged numbers and social media. She called me that same evening to tell me James had been over her house to give her the gifts from his family. She said she thought he was expecting her to let him in. She didn't. She didn't even accept the gifts, just thanking him, but she just wanted them completely cut off. She didn't have to do that. She could have just accepted the gifts just to be polite. But she admitted that she did that because she wanted to avenge me of sorts from the mistreatment I got from them. Oh my heart. How could I have hated this woman even for a minute? James sent me a nasty message for leaving him and even called me to just basically repeat what he said in his message. He vacillated between blaming me for being so overly sensitive and convincing me to stay with him. When I wouldn't budge, he screamed at me and told me his family was right all along about me. He was so angry that I left him, but I think he was even more angry when, about a month later, he found out I was dating someone else already. And it's not because I moved on, but because it was with the one person his family thought was perfect for him, Diane. Diane and I are celebrating 3 years of marriage to this day. And that is how I got my revenge from my ex-boyfriend and his family.
If you liked the story, please give it a thumbs up. Share the video and subscribe for more. Click the bell icon so you don't miss out on new videos. Thank you very much.